Sampling of the voices from the past couple of days, although things are moving so quickly with regard to the SNAP, SNAP food stamps shutdown. I don't know. Maybe we'll get news today. Trump says, hey, Republicans in the Senate, go nuclear, get rid of the filibuster, pass it with a simple majority, open the government. Now, added to this, the unions, the airlines, the unions for the pilots, the biggest government workers union, they are telling Chuck Schumer, sign the continuing resolution, the CR. Open the government, get the people fed, get the military paid, and then you come back and fight another day. Governor McKee, would you urge the same thing? And now, come on. Now, the rubber's hitting the road. Sign the CR, open it, and come back and fight another day. Even the unions are pointing the fingers.
There are two different issues. If we're talking about SNAP, just like the president found contingency funds to help pay for the military, there's contingency funds that he can put in place to take care of the SNAP program.
Speaker says you can't do that because Congress is closed and you can't do it.
Did the speaker say that he couldn't put the funds that he had, contingency money for the federal work for the military?
That's different money. They said different pots of money.
They're not telling the truth. So you can absolutely put this forward. And also, I say shame on Congress for not anticipating this or not dealing with this, as a one-up. This is a very serious issue. Some of the issues we deal with locally and federally are not as serious as this. Is 140,000 people in the state of Rhode Island, and millions of people in the country that are not going to have food during November, and that is that's a big problem.
So pass the CR, pass the continuing resolution. Governor, wait a minute, pass it. Open the government, you'll have the money on the cards tonight.
They're not connected, Gene. So
what do you mean they're not connected? The president says you can pass it, open the government tonight. The unions say do that too. They're usually with you. On this one, they're not.
What they're doing is they're using it as leverage to get their budget passed, and it is worth the fight to protect our health care costs. Look, the HR 1 bill, we're getting final analysis right now. This is going to cost the state of Rhode Island hundreds of millions of dollars in costs. Mm-hmm. This is going to come out of somebody's pocket. It's either going to come out of the ratepayer's pocket, the taxpayer's pocket, or the insurance companies or the hospitals. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars that is going to be impacted that our congressional delegation is standing up for. Don't connect the two. They're not. It's not appropriate to connect the two.
Governor,
you can do one. You can take care of the SNAP without signing the onto the bill.
You see, you use that word leverage. That's a hot word. They're going to put you on social media if they catch you using that word leverage, because they say this is not, people's lives are at stake. You just said it. Now, Governor, President said go nuclear. Get rid of the filibuster, pass it simple majority. How about just pass the continuing resolution? You open the government, people get funded, and you come back and fight another day for health care.
Gene, they're two different things.
Okay. I'm not going to convince you otherwise.
They can do the SNAP. They can. The president has the ability to do the SNAP with contingency money, and Congress has if they don't agree with it, they have a right to come back and fix the SNAP right now. Mm-hmm. But what are they saying? No, pass the bill that now they haven't agreed on. But they all agree they should do the SNAP. So if they need Congress, come back and fix the SNAP. We got millions of people in this country and tens of thousands of people in Rhode Island that are going to be impacted without the food. Why don't they just come and address that one issue right now? Either the president take care of it,
right,
or Congress, if they say, hey, you need my permission, which, by the way, Congress has not said to President Trump one time that you need my permission to do anything, whether it's military in the streets or whether it's, the list is so long. This is kind of comical, to tell you the truth. But, hey, if Congress says that they need to step in and provide the money for SNAP, then go do it.
Yeah,
I think that the Democrats and the Republicans would all come back and put the SNAP in place and then deal with the budget on a long-term basis.
You're telling the unions, by the way, largest government union, you're telling the airlines, you're telling the airline pilots, by the way, they're concerned about the airports shutting down because they have so many guys calling in sick. You're telling them it's worth the fight over health care. Democrats stand strong and don't pass the CR. That's what I'm hearing, Governor.
Yeah, well, I agree that this healthcare issue is a major problem. We just came out with a preliminary report yesterday about what this HR 1 is going to cost the taxpayers in Rhode Island. So if you're fighting to protect the taxpayers in Rhode Island with about hundreds of millions of dollars of costs that this bill is going to reflect. I don't think that people really would want that signed and then bear the cost that is coming our way. I think it's worth the fight. But on the SNAP, this is a big problem, Gene. And it certainly has me riled up in a way where I usually are pretty common collected on a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Look, this SNAP thing needs to be addressed. And if Congress says that they need that to check off on it, then come back in and do the check off on the SNAP.
Tom, pull up the Thune from the other day when he was railing against them. We'll get to that in a second. In the meantime, Governor, all right, that's Congress. That's Congress. For you and I, it's academic to talk about them. We don't get to vote. But you have to bridge the gap somehow because you got hungry people. They want their food. They want their food stamps. And you got a plan. Give me the plan in just a second. First, here's the response to you from the majority leader in the Senate, Thune, about whether they're two separate issues like you just said. You got past the CR, you end it, you come back and fight. All right, you've answered it. I understand.
I've answered it.
You've answered it twice.
If the senator thinks it's so important, then come back and fix the SNAP and then move on and deal with the situation they got to deal with.
Governor, you have a fix. You've got up to half of the money certain families would usually get. They'll get up to half. About 80,000 won't get it. And then you're stocking up the food banks. You got David Cicilline Rhode Island Foundation to give you $1 million. You're putting state dollars toward that. Give me the quick sketch on the plan if things go bust tomorrow.
So the plan is, and first of all, there's a rumor going around that the SNAP cards are not going to be able to be used on November 1st. If people actually had some money on their card, at the end of October, that's false. Just let people know that.
Okay.
So they can use those cards. We're going to, we have some federal dollars in a state program that we can apply to families. So we're going to apply a total of $6 million, $3 million on November 1st, $3 million on November 15th. That will cover 50% of what an individual or family would receive.
No, it's a certain portion of the total recipients, right? Who is it specifically?
It's families with kids.
Okay, they get up to half. Got it.
We can use those funds to help those families with kids. We can't use those funds for households that don't have kids.
Okay.
So there's still a gap of 80,000 people that we have not figured out how to get them funds, because even if we appropriated funds, which we're talking to the General Assembly about, appropriating the same strategy, putting 50% of state surplus in, the rainy day fund, and I think we can do it, but we have no way to actually connect it to charge up that card. So we're working through those details right now. There's also a heavy workload going on in terms of food, which you can go to, or donations. You can go to rhodeislandfoundation.org/food, or if you have these questions about the SNAP program, if you're a recipient or if you have family that is, you can go to snapsupport.ri.gov. So we're trying to be as communicative as possible. It is not going to be an easy month, but on this issue, but we're being very proactive. Today we'll be at the Elijah Project. Actually, the former lieutenant governor in Delaware, who's a friend, has brought on a nonprofit that's going to be allocating about 10,000 pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables at the Elijah Project today. So we're going to continue to reinforce that this is not your normal holiday food drive. We need to get out and provide any help that we can provide, either by donating to the Rhode Island Foundation or donating directly to our food bank. And
if you need this, if you're someone getting shut off, you go to the food banks. Find the nearest pantry near you. Ask around, you'll find it right away. There's a lot of them.
I've organized all the municipal leaders on a call on this. Mm-hmm. They know that they're going to get hit hard. Their senior centers have food banks. They have other food banks that are operating in their communities. Mayor De Silva, who heads up the leagues in cities and towns, is activated. The local as well. So if you're having an issue and you live in a community, you should be calling, get a municipal leader who can direct you to the resources that are in the community.
I don't know if you're aware, but on TikTok, Instagram, the social media, there are some of these SNAP recipients that are threatening to take whatever they want, and they're particularly saying, Walmart, you're going to get it. Have you had any kind of conversations with public safety about supermarkets, about security, about keeping peace, if it comes to that?
Yeah, well, I hope not. And if it is, then people who are going to break the law are going to pay a penalty. So they shouldn't be thinking that that's their right to do that just because, Washington can't get their act together.
Have you had any conversations with your public safety people? Like, anything about this?
We have all different scenarios. We've had conversations on. Certainly, that's one of the possibilities that we're looking at. But I don't expect that in Rhode Island. Look, we're going to philanthropy, people's generosity is going to step up. We're stepping up on a statewide level. Our food bank and pantries are stepping up. Rhode Island Foundation stepping up. They're looking for additional donations. We put in a couple $100,000 to the food bank, and the Rhode Island Foundation is matching that. So we're going to use our resources to make this as acceptable as possible.
Okay, Tom, let's go to the calls. We'll get as many people as we can on for Ask the Governor.
All right, Bob Pawtucket, you're up first. Good morning, Bob.
Bob, go ahead. Go.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Governor McKee, as you know, over the past few years, different sectors, business sectors have left or threatened to leave over tax parity with the state of Massachusetts. I own a small pet business in Pawtucket. Our small industry is one of the few service-oriented industries that gets taxed in Rhode Island, but not in Massachusetts. That 7% makes a big difference in our pricing with competitors that are just 10 minutes down the road. What do you think or say to businesses large and small looking for tax parity with Massachusetts? And can you commit to taking a look at our small segment to be more competitive?
Are you a pet groomer?
We do pet grooming, but we also do daycare and boarding.
Okay. Well, he's saying, you come by me in Rhode Island, you pay 7%. You go to the groomer in Attleboro, you save 7%. How can you help
exactly?
Yeah, so we'll take a look at that. Obviously, I want to level the playing field as best we can between Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and in many ways, we do a lot better than Massachusetts. We have a inventory tax that you're not paying up to $50,000 on your inventory tax in your community. You got a no vehicle tax in the businesses that have vehicles. Massachusetts can't say that. So we have actually a lower income tax than Massachusetts has across the board as well. So there's many ways that we have done that. I fully understand an individual only like yourself that would like to see parity in there. We'll take a look at it, and I appreciate the call.
You help the dogs, Governor. It's very popular, an election. Anything to help the animals. Next caller.
Let's go to Paul Woonsocket. Go ahead.
Paul, go.
Governor, a couple of suggestions to help the unhoused and the underhoused and also slash rents around. First off, now buckle up for this one. There are dozens of decommissioned cruise ships for sale around the world. You could buy one, have some organization buy one, tie it up in Providence. You could use the crew quarters down below for homeless people, and all the cabins above. You have so many families who are spending $2,000-$3,000 a month to live in a small hotel.
Paul, you're an idea man. I'm not sure we're buying cruise ships. We just went through hell with the pallet shelters. By the way, on the homeless, you're giving $2 million to jumpstart the winter care.
$1.8
million for various agencies to get ready.
Yeah, and the homelessness, we finally have a management authority out of our housing office, and we have more beds that'll be in place this year than ever before, and spending less money.
You want to buy a cruise ship? Maybe park it and maybe an old celebrity. I don't know, Carnival.
We're building a lot of housing units. Since I've been governor, about 6,700 housing units have been under construction. So we'll be a little more traditional and working with that issue.
Okay, next caller for the governor.
We got a break here.
All right, break. Then we'll get more people on. A load of lines over here today. You must have lit them up, Governor. 823.
All right, you want to do more calls for Ask the Governor? 438-9776. Gene, there we go. All right, we're back.
We're back?
Yeah, let's do more calls.
Let's do more calls. Go ahead.
All right, let's go to B. Go ahead, B.
Hi. First of all, thanks, Governor, for all the work you're doing. It's much appreciated on my part.
Thanks, B.
You're welcome. My understanding is earlier this week, Bud Craddock stated that when you turn 70 years old, every 2 years, you have to renew your license. That's a financial strain on people over 70. I mean, a lot of them are qualify for federal subsidies. So can you pressure the General Assembly to either half it or make it equivalent to like every 5 years the amount?
I will.
That's you.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I got to go every 2 years. I'm fortunate. I don't need I don't need the glasses.
I want to give you a break. Give him a break on the fee.
I'm going to find out what the caller said on it. Thank you for the call, and I'll be calling. We'll be calling Bud today and see whether that's a policy that he put in place or whether one that was through the General Assembly.
Bud tells you I only execute what the General Assembly tells me to. He doesn't come up with the ideas; he's just executed. Now, go listen to my podcast. We did ask the registry
about that
Monday, and he did this.
Well,
this
it doesn't impact you yet, but it's going to. It's
someday
if I make it.
Close. If I make it, yeah.
All right.
Next caller.
Ann, go ahead, Ann.
Ann, go.
Good morning, Governor. Thank you for taking my call. I have a question regarding the food pantries and the elderly. So most of the elderly that we as a home care agency deal with are homebound. Is someone else going to be able to go on their behalf to get food from the food pantries?
Yes. We did that in Cumberland as well. Our senior center in Cumberland, we made sure that we transported. I'm sure that's why I was saying earlier, we have Mayor De Silva, who's the president of the leagues and cities and towns. We have all the municipal leaders all on board here. So what I would say is on a local level, call the local community, talk to the senior center directors, and they'll be able to assist and make that happen.
So in other words, the mayors know that some people, they'll have to have it delivered to their house.
We know that there's going to be a need for a lot of flexibility here. So where there is flexibility, certainly I'm encouraging the local communities to provide it.
Okay, 8:30. Governor's going to stay with us. We have more calls, and we'll talk about the homeless. He's got $2 million to jumpstart the winter care. Stay with us.
All right, you want more calls?
Let's take a couple more calls, and I got a lightning round for the governor. A lot of things. He's just back from California too. Go,
John. Go ahead.
John.
Yes, the sovereign state of Rhode Island. You have this is your baby, and this is your family. When emergency funds need to be released in a state of emergency for children starving or people starving, if you had to make this decision on your own for your people, separating it from what's happening across the nation, what will you do as the governor of Rhode Island to the many people who are looking up to you?
Well, I think he's answered that. We've got a plan, but you can flesh it out, Governor. It's a question for you.
We've allocated about $6 million from a fund that was not supposed to be used for this. So that was one thing to help the families with children. And then we're also looking at a way that we could get the other people who have families without children at least cover at least 50% of the cost. So we'll continue to do that, but also look at where we're engaging the Rhode Island Foundation, the Rhode Island Food Bank, all the pantries, all the municipal leaders to address this issue as as just like you said. Look, we've got a responsibility as a state to help people who need help, and I'm very optimistic that we'll respond in a strong way.
All right, let's go next caller, please.
Sean in the garage.
Sean,
Hello,
go.
Sean.
Hi, Governor. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay,
it's regarding the nursing home dumping that is on the front page of the Providence Sunday Journal to the entire front page. And I was dumped, no court order, no superior court eviction. It's been going on all over the state, all over the nation. I'm sure you know. And when the local police were called, they'll remain nameless. They came, made a ruling that, well, there's no court order. You can't remove this patient, resident. And 2 days later, when I went to go talk about an assault and report an assault to the lieutenant, I left momentarily, and they bagged up my belongings, put me onto the front driveway. And it's elder abuse. And the police are closed on it. They are not putting me back in. And it happened at another jurisdiction.
I'll tell you what, take his name down. We'll get that to the governor's
the best way to
person
go.
if he needs a little personal help. You have anything to say on the general?
No, I just would say exactly what you just said, Gene. If you provide your contact information, we'll have our housing office contact you, and then we'll be able to evaluate the situation more on a one-on-one basis.
Constituent service. That's important too. Next.
Bill, go ahead.
Bill, go.
Yes, Governor. Quick question. Don't the underprivileged, needy children in the state of Rhode Island get breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner through the school systems? And wouldn't that avert some of the starving kids if this thing doesn't work?
Yes, it does. And I know that I was with Mayor Smiley. I have a monthly meeting with him, and he was talking about ratcheting up that program after hours. Yeah, this is an all hands on deck issue. I've talked to the Commissioner of Education on this very issue. So we're going to, every little bit that we do to help in this circumstances is going to be, a great contribution. So good point. And the communities that do that to follow Providence's lead to kind of extend that service.
We had the mayor in on Wednesday. Asked the mayor. He said the recreation centers feed the kids dinner, or they send a box home actually with them, and that because of this SNAP shutdown, they will be sending more boxes home if there are other hungry people in the family. Okay, Governor, let's go to the homeless. You've reminded me it's not 2 million, it's 1.8 million for the homeless. This is to jumpstart what?
So this is to jumpstart the seasonal need. So right now we've already got about 1,600 beds right now, which is significantly more than ever before, and we're spending less money. I'm happy that our housing office now with Secretary Goddard, I met with their team yesterday, is really on top of this. So the providers are responding more to the RFPs that we put out, and then this is additional for beds during the times when it gets really cold, and if there's a need. Now I think we've added a couple hundred more beds and cots, and then we've also opened up some warming centers funding for that. And now it's regional efforts with these. There's offices all around the state, whether it's down in Westerly or Newport or Providence or up in Woonsocket. We've got these offices now opened up, working on a regional way rather than just a statewide coordinated entry system. Is now no longer. You're not going to have to call in now. You're going to be able to go directly to a place that has a bed, and you'll be able to find a shelter.
Right. You're getting a better handle on this. You haven't always gotten along with the homeless advocates, and you have your side of the story too. There was a year they didn't want to tell you. I know that they didn't want to give you the count. They said, "Oh, trust us." You didn't trust them, but now you've got a better handle on homelessness, so that we don't have the same repeat of the stories that we got last year.
I think that we're in a position now to know that, hey, it's on us now that our housing office is managing this issue, to have the correct numbers, to understand, to make sure that we know where people are. We'll have community workers out on the streets, and we got a very caring core group that is managing this out of a housing office. Time will tell, but I'm encouraged. I know one thing: we have significantly more shelter beds than we have ever had. And I think that's a direct result of our housing office really creating a very efficient strategy that's hopefully going to service, people that have this need. And our goal is to reduce the amount of homelessness. Now we're going to be able to manage it directly.
Okay. You have a press conference coming up a little later today at Bryant, and we were reporting that Bryant's been chosen as a base camp for activities and the host, maybe the practice from one of the teams when they come to play the World Cup. I guess if they come to play the World Cup, right? Trump's been threatening to pull it, punish Mayor Wu. And and we don't know if the government in Massachusetts is coming up with $20 million they need. But go ahead, give us, apart from the bad news, give us the good spin.
Well, the good, it's not spin. Massachusetts is more than capable of handling an event like this, and Rhode Island is preparing it with Treasury Diosa. He'll be up at Bryant today. He's heading up the Ocean State 26, which is our area of really supporting the whole issue with the World Cup. And Bryant is now in consideration as being a location for a training camp for one of the teams. More to come. Our anticipation that it will happen.
Okay, you were back from California. You're out there for a couple of days. You met with Regent, Billy, right? Bill? Yeah. He runs Regent. They make the Sea Glider here.
Yes.
Did he tell you what happened with the Sea Glider when it crashed?
They
don't like crash.
You might know
a mishap. The wing went in the water. I sent you the picture.
That's right. You sent me the picture. I got
what
it right
happened
here.
with that? Do you have the inside scoop? Were they trying to fly it? Were they trying to do the third stage of it, fly it?
So it's all in the testing, and this is part of the testing that goes on. They clearly are not. They're not ready to launch these things, but they're moving ahead, and they let me know that now he's got over almost $10 billion of advance interest orders We were on a panel at Stanford. You mentioned
Yes.
earlier that your daughter went there for law school. What a place that is.
Beautiful campus.
We were there for several hours. I was on a panel with Billy and also one of the chief executives at Anduril, who is now operating a facility down at Quonset building these unmanned submarines, 150,000 square feet of space that they've built. Met with Palmer Luckey the next day, who is the billionaire, 30-something billionaire.
Right.
That is quite a character, but he gave us time. He's agreed to kind of visit Rhode Island in 2026. And we expect that there's going to be an expansion of that. So that's the reason we went out. Thank people who are doing business with us, met with Amgen as well. It was nice to know that in Rhode Island, Amgen's plant, which you can see off of Route 95, is the number one producing plant in the world in their network, which is a big thing. Rhode Island has many things that we don't talk about enough, and one of them is that we're adding jobs, which Anduril has, and as well as Amgen has added jobs. We've added 36,000 private sector jobs since I've been governor. We just were down at Quonset, 3,000 additional jobs since I've been governor, now at 15,000 jobs.
Okay.
And so these are things why we would travel with our Commerce Secretary, with our President of Commerce, as well as one of our board members on the Commerce Board. And we're meeting with people that are doing business with us, encouraging them to do more. And we're meeting with people who are considering doing business with us, and we expect that to happen.
Let me just go back. A couple of quick answers because it's tight on time.
Yeah.
I know you got to get on to your next event. Region, when they had the mishap with the sea glider, you said Billy's got some explaining to do. Did he explain to you what happened?
Well, they explained to me that that's part of the testing procedures.
Oh, yeah, the Wright brothers crashed plenty of them. Elon Musk, he crashes rockets all the time. But what happened? Were they trying to do the third stage of flight, or was it still the second one? Did they tell you?
I got to get back here on that.
Okay.
I would imagine they were, because they were on the water trying to get off the water. So they had a wing that flipped on them. So
they shouldn't be embarrassed about this. The Wright
testing,
brothers crashed. I get
this
it.
is not causing it. The interest that we had on that Stanford panel. In fact, there was all sorts of Rhode Island connections everywhere I went, which was amazing. And we talked to some people who are opening up business, and it was a lot of the maritime defense was really the central figure there. We met with two people that are doing business in Massachusetts that have lived in Rhode Island one time. They're going to talk to us about bringing it down to Rhode Island. So it was a very successful trip. We'll find out how successful over the next few months.
Palmer Luckey, he makes the unmanned submarines. He's still coming here? He's going to build them here?
He is building the unmanned submarines right now as we speak at Quonset. They're gearing up for that. And it's a growing company with jobs. So Palmer, I met with him and with the whole team, and then we met with his team for a couple more hours. They're very interested in Rhode Island, and they see this as a place where that maritime defense is a leader. We actually had President Palange from URI at that meeting because we're putting a couple $100 million into their Bay campus right now, which was they're one of the leading oceanography schools in the entire country. And now they're only going to get better. So there's a good connection there. We just got to make sure we go out and network. It's sales, Gene. You do sales. I've done sales for a long time. It's networking, building relationships, and then expanding the workforce to expand the incomes of the people in the state of Rhode Island.
You flew Breeze back? Breeze?
Yes.
Okay. And you called Nealman and told him it was a good experience?
I texted David as I checking in and took a picture of one of his employees, let him know that they were doing a good job, did the same thing on the plane, and he got back to me and said, well, it's good to know, but and he thanked me for the business.
Okay, you're a grandfather again, going to be a second-time grandfather?
In November,
congratulations.
We're expecting a baby boy. Named will be made public at some point in time, but and I'll be with Mabel James today, hopefully, at a Halloween parade like we all are celebrating with our kids.
You're going as the mayor of Cumberland.
I'm going to go as the mayor of Cumberland. I qualify.
Same suit. All right. Let's take one more call here, and then we'll let you go. Dave, he's a regular caller. Likes to talk to you. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Dave.
So a question on the topic. Part of the problem is, a third of the state is on assisted, some form of assistance. We have issues with immigration. I know you've said that you're not going to change the E-Verify policy. My question is trying to get practical. Could someone who's not in the state legally get a job with the state police.
I don't believe they can.
Do you suspect that to be the case, Dave? Why would you ask that?
Well, we had in Maine, right, Gene? You have a superintendent of schools in Des Moines. You have a police officer in Orchard Beach, Maine. It happens.
Oh, no, you're right. These stories are better than this, but I don't have any reason to suspect that our state police would hire someone who's not in the country legally.
We have an
Do you?
incredibly difficult vetting process to get on the state police.
Okay. By the way, before I go, your party, the Republicans can't wait to put Mamdani in down in New York because they're going to make him the poster child for everything. Have you been following what's going on in New York City with Mamdani? He's a socialist, Is he going to get in? And would you support that?
Well, it sounds like he's going to get elected. He wouldn't be my candidate, but I don't get the vote there.
Okay, so you're not for him.
I like I said, he wouldn't be my candidate. I don't get the vote there, but let's see what the people in New York City do.
Is there any news you want to leave us? Because sometimes people walk out of here, they forget to tell me. Oh, by the way, is there anything you need to tell me?
No, I think you covered it. We got I'm headed to the World Cup announcement up at Bryant.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything you have, Minister of Entertainment?
Yeah, just real quick. On gambling in the state, the Rhode Island Sportsbook controls all the sports gambling, but companies like Prize Picks, which I endorsed at one point in Kalshi, are also, you're able to gamble with those outlets. How do they get around the gambling laws here to be able to do that?
Do you still like having one platform as the lock on all the action, or would you support making?
Our Constitution says that the state controls gambling, and that's the way it is. We get a good return on that, funding wise, almost $20 million a year. So it's a good funding source, and we're going to keep it state controlled. And I would expect, Tom, if other people are trying to get in, they're going to need our permission to get in.
Well, they're in right now. You can bet on something on Kalshi right now, make money on Kalshi. I don't know if that goes back to the state, but there are other platforms where you are able to gamble and make money.
Yeah, but it's very complicated in the Rhode Island. I remember this. The expansion of gambling, that's the phrase they use, correct? This goes back to Senator Chafee. The expansion of gambling is a complicated thing. So just narrow this. We have one sports book in Rhode Island.
We have one sports book. So FanDuel and DraftKings you can use in Massachusetts.
Okay, but you can't use them here because it's geo-synced.
Right.
And go ahead.
And Prize Picks and Kalshi, there are two different gambling sites. One's a prediction market, and the other one is a sports gaming app, which you can make money on. So how are they able to get around our gambling laws? Or I guess it's part of the
so you're saying that Kalshi and what was the other one?
Prize Picks.
People can still do a little gambling with them in Rhode Island?
Yes.
Do you need to investigate this? I don't expect you to have the answers off the top of your head.
I think we're clearly inspecting that. We are going to protect our Constitution, which says that we control gambling.
Okay, Governor, thanks. Let you go to work. Nice to have you in again.
Yes, we're going to head. Oh, and let's make sure we're cheering for the Rhode Island Football Club, because they are playing in the playoffs this year. A successful year, and we really congratulate them. Right?
Damn straight.
Damn straight.
Right. Okay. 8:52.